Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video we will be continuing learning about C++ and we will be taking a look at functions. And you probably remember functions from JavaScript, and now we will teach you how functions work in C++ instead. So let's start off by, let's see, some kind of bug in code blocks sometimes that, let's see, let's just kill this. So let's start off by properly starting code blocks. Hopefully it doesn't freeze to death. And let's start a new project. Which we will call functions. Let's see, functions. Functions. Boom. Like this. And we get our... Yeah guys, it's for some reason it's slow. What is it doing? Nice. Now we have this up, now we have sources, here you have the file. And basically functions, as you remember from JavaScript, they're very helpful when you want to encapsulate some kind of behavior, some kind of functionality in a box, and then use this functionality, use this box in the future. So for example, let me show you how you can define a simple function. So you can write void and then test. So this is how we declare a simple function called test with return type void. What does it mean? It means that the function does not return anything. So you remember that we had int main, that we had the function main that returned an integer, and here we are returning 0. You remember in the very first C++ video we discussed this, and we basically said that if the main function runs without errors, we just want to return 0, and because we are returning 0, we need to specify when we create the function that this function will return an integer, so therefore we write int main. But this function right here, test, it will not return anything. It will just print to the console testing, like this. And so the good thing is now is that we can call this function in our main function, like this. So now if I build and run this, let's see what is happening here. Oops, C out. And if I build and run this, I get testing written to the console. Perfect. And obviously I can call this function however many times I want, like this. So build and run, and we have testing written after each other. If we want to add a new line after each such print, we add endl, build and run, and now we have testing being written under each other in this manner. Beautiful. Now let's talk about different return types. So for example, let's have an int function that returns 5. I mean, for some reason, if you have a stupid function that the only thing it does is returning the number 5, and here you can basically say cout returns 5. And so this basically what this will do is that it will print 5 to the console, because you see we have 5 being written to the console because we just return 5 and we print it. Now let's do a function that multiplies two integers. So we have int a and int b, and so what we want to do is that we want to return a times b, like this. So this is kind of, maybe it's useful, but it's just an example. So for example, and now you can insert numbers. Let's multiply 5 by 2 and print that to the console. What is the result of multiplication? Well, you have 10, you see? So now we're able to encapsulate the multiplication operation in a function. And the cool thing is that you can actually create an int here with answer, and then store the result of multiplication in answer, and then only print answer. Let's see how this is. And we get 10 again. We can also, of course, return strings. So for example, we can have our function called create greeting. And what this will do is that this will have an argument called name, and then this will return greetings, and then plus name, like this. Let's see if this works. Yes, it compiles beautifully, but what we can do now is that we can, for example, do string name, and we can do cin name, and then cout create greeting name, like this. So we create a variable, we let the user input the value for that variable, and then we print to the console the greeting with this name. So for example, let's see how this works. The program is waiting for us to insert a value, Ivan, and you see greetings Ivan. And so we're able to get the name from the user, and then we use this function to create the greetings message, and then we print that message to the console. What we can also do instead is that we can do greetings string, like this, and then we cout the greeting strings, like this. Let's see, build and run, and now we can have Satoshi, and you see greetings Satoshi. So guys, I hope you understand functions. I hope you understand how you create functions and how you use functions, because functions are very important. Obviously, functions are at the core of programming, and hopefully now you understand how to use functions in C++, and also what these words mean before the actual function names. And this is different from, for example, JavaScript. In JavaScript, you only write function, and then you write function name, and then you go crazy like this, and you may or may not return anything in here. But in C++, we need to be more strict. We need to describe more exactly what the code is doing and what the function is actually returning. So therefore we have, for example, write void, and it means that the function will not return anything. And here we need to write int, and this basically forces us to return something. So for example, if I remove this return statement and I try to build and run, you see that we have this issue down here that, let's see, that, let me see, because it is not, for example, if I remove it here from greetings and I build and run, you see it will just go crazy. It will just go crazy because we do not have any return value in here, and you actually need to return something from your function, which you promised here by writing string. So yeah, it's very, very important. I hope you learned something. I hope you understand, and I'll see you in the next video.